Chapter 2 of Wildflowers of the Farm by Arthur O. Cooke. This LibriVox recording is in the public domain. Read by Maida Savares. Chapter 2. In the Coppice. Outside the front door of Willow Farm is a broad curving gravel drive, at the far end of which a white gate opens into the lane. On one side of this drive is a narrow strip of ground planted with flowers and shrubs, and close to the front door there is a patch of grass on which stands a large old mulberry tree. On the other side of the drive is a lawn. Beyond that are more flowers and then the vegetable garden. Further on still is a little wood or coppice of nut bushes. On this March morning we shall find some wildflowers in this little wood. Between the vegetable garden and the wood is a low grassy bank. It is bright today with yellow primroses. The primrose always blossoms early here, for the bank is sunny and is sheltered from cold winds. I dare say most of you have seen a primrose before today. Each pale yellow blossom is made up of 5 petals, which are joined together forming a tube or corolla. The petals are notched or indented on the outer edge. At the center of the blossom, where the petals meet, each petal is marked with a spot of darker yellow. Each flower grows alone in a long, slender stem. At the top of the stem is a kind of green tube out of which the yellow blossom appears. The primrose blossoms have a scent, not strong, but very sweet and pleasant. The leaves are called radical or root leaves. They are so called because each leaf appears to grow direct from the root. But the leaves really grow from a short stem at the top of the root, a stem so short that it does not appear above the ground at all. Among the bushes of the coppice itself we will notice the flowers which first catch our eye, the pretty blossoms of the wood anemone. The whole coppice is starred with the beautiful white flowers. We pick one and see that it has 6. 6 what? 6 petals, you say. No, these are not petals, for the anemone has none. They are sepals. The sepals of a plant generally enclose the blossom before it is opened, and they are usually green. In the anemone, the petals are absent. The sepals take their place and are white instead of green. Their underside is often not pure white, but is streaked with pale pink. Several blossoms which we pick have 6 of these sepals. That is the usual number, but sometimes there are only 5 and sometimes more than 6. The blossoms of the anemone grow on longer and stronger stalks than those of the primrose, and on each stalk are 3 leaves. These leaves grow round the stalk in a ring. Each leaf is a tripartite, in 3 parts or divisions. The edges of these divided leaves are deeply serrated. Besides the 3 leaves on each flower stalk, similar leaves grow from underground stems, which creep along not far below the surface of the soil. Such creeping underground stems are usually called rhizomes. At the further side of the coppice, where a hedge separates it from the little meadow called home close, are sweet violets. We catch their fragrant scent before we see them, for the tiny flowers are half hidden among broad green leaves. Each blossom has 5 petals of a dark purple color. There are white sweet violets too, but none are growing in our little wood today. At the base of the blossom, the part where it joins the stem, one of the petals has a little spur which points back towards the stem. The blossom is therefore said to be spurred. We may presently see other plants with spurred flowers. There is another violet which grows wild in England, the dog violet. It is larger than our sweet violets here, but it has no scent. While we have been examining the flowers on the ground, the nut bushes above our heads are waiting to remind us of what we said just now. The trees also have flowers. The flowers of the nut bush or hazel are easily seen, for they appear before the leaves are open. What we see today are often called catkins, but the name which country children give them is lamb's tails. It is a very good name too, for they are more like the tail of some tiny lamb than anything else. These catkins are yellowish-white in color and soft and almost woolly to the touch. They hang in clusters from the hazel twigs, and in a strong March wind which blows today, they shake and flutter like the tails of lambs at play. Some of them leave a dusty powder on your fingers when we handle them. That is the pollen of the flower. It is not where these yellow catkins are dancing on the twigs today that the hazel nuts will appear in autumn. The nuts will grow on twigs where there are very small red flowers, something like tiny paint brushes. These are the female flowers. They will be fertilized by the yellow pollen of the catkins and will produce the nuts. End of chapter 2.